Today, as so many of us gathered around the family table to share food and laughter, we thought it fitting to remember that on the other side of the world, there are 116,000, mostly young Americans serving in Iraq and Afghanistan, whose families are celebrating another holiday without them. As two wars that have told now for more than a decade wind down, they fight on. ABC's senior White House correspondent Jake Tapper and Nightline producer Ely Brown traveled to Afghanistan to spend time with them.
We're headed to the tip of the spear, to a remote base in mountainous northeast Afghanistan. Pakistan is right there, that mountain under the clouds.
This is the northernmost forward operating base. How does that feel?
There's nothing between you and the enemy but yourselves.
It's morning at Forward Operating Base Bostic. The men and women of the 227 Infantry, the Wolfhounds, prepare for their day.
Start off with the roll call.
Whatever the pending plans for America's longest war coming from Washington, the work and the fight in this part of the country feels far from over. More than 10 years after the 9/11 attack, this war is now being waged by soldiers who were in grade school at the time.
All the paperwork.
Captain Matthew Schachman is now 28. On 9/11, he was a teenager focused on hockey, for which he was drafted by West Point.
There's a couple different points up on the ridgeline up here where they shoot at us from.
This is his second deployment in 4 years.
Nice.
Now, Forward Operating Base Bostic is his home.
Whole Foods, chocolate chip cookies.
Classy.
For the 6 months that the troops of the 227 have been away from their families, they've been focused on Operation Rugged Sirach, which means road. This road, securing it, having it paved, keeping the enemy from illegal checkpoints.
So today's mission?
This morning, as part of the ongoing effort, Acting Commander Major Dominic Edwards and his team head to the local district center. Even a short ride just a half-mile up that road means massive security precautions. But this road has been costly, a 4 1/3 mile stretch of concrete and gravel for which every day they're prepared to sacrifice their lives. 8 members of the Wolfhounds have been killed since May. One was killed just a few days before we got there. When you find out that one of the soldiers has been lost, what's it like?
It's just very difficult. You run through a wide range of emotions. You're sad, you're very angry. There's guys who say, why are we here? You question that.
There's that split second where you're happy that, like it's not your wife and kids. And then, you feel like a horrible person because you thought that. And then, you think about their family.
Schachman says his wife knew what she was getting into.
Like when I first met Lori, the first movie I ever watched with her was We Were Soldiers, because a second lieutenant with a new baby gets killed. And I tried to scare her away and it didn't work.
They now have 2 little girls. Ainsley is not yet 3. Scarlett not yet 1.
You only know Scarlett really from other than when she was a few days old.
She won't remember that I was gone. I think Ainsley might, but I'll get home and give her the tickle hand, and I think it'll all kind of key back in. And I have to go get the money.
Back on base, Captain Schachman meets with a local contractor working on the road. He's finally been able to travel it in order to get paid.
$3 million.
So how much is that American?
That's $69,950. So you're gonna sign. I know this is so much money.
But the treasure spent to build this road is nothing compared to the blood spilled for it.
So this is our Wolfhound Heroes wall. This is all of the heroes who have died during this tour here in northern Kunar.
The motto of the Wolfhounds, no fear on earth. This is their insignia, but that's not an eye, it's where shrapnel hit. From a recoilless rifle that someone somewhere in these mountains keeps firing at them.
So that's the hole, and then you can see the splattering on the walls, and then that's my room right there.
The Arab Spring, the death of bin Laden, all of that seems so far away from Forward Operating Base Bostic, where concerns are more parochial. It's for this road that these men and women risk their lives, and for this road that they're away from their loved ones. Edwards recently apologized to his wife and 3 kids for having gone a few weeks without calling them.
My son Josh just laughed. He goes, tell Dad, don't worry about it. He's fighting a war. He needs to worry about the guys and bringing them home.
At the end of the day, is building this road worth it? Even with all the good things that road means. But
it's difficult to put a value on the loss of a father or a husband or someone's son or daughter. You want to make sure that their sacrifice is not in vain. We're making progress and we are making a difference. And I think that helps us resolve it a bit. I don't know if it's going to be worth it. Well, I think time will tell ultimately.